The Seventh Tower by Garth Nix. Book 2, Castle. Chapter 24. The mausoleum was where Chosen were finally laid to rest. It was rare for a Chosen to die young, because their lives could usually be prolonged by sunstones, but there were always accidents, or those who had grown weary of life, or who made mistakes with the healing power of their stones. The mausoleum occupied the second biggest chamber in the castle, in the neutral levels on the southern side. It had a domed ceiling, cut from the rock and adorned with thousands of sunstone chips to give the impression of stars. Unlike the rest of the castle, it was not lit by anything brighter. The mausoleum lay in a perpetual twilight, under a night sky as it might be seen above the veil. Every single Chosen whose remains rested there occupied a lavishly decorated stone coffin, surmounted by a statue of their spirit shadow. The vast hall was lined with row after row of fantastic statues, spirit shadows carved in white and red marble, in greenstone, or in black, gold-shot granite. Many were adorned with gold and silver, or set with dull, ordinary gems like diamonds and rubies. No capillaries of the cooling system entered the mausoleum, so Ebbitt led them out nearby. They sneaked through the preparing room, which was fortunately empty of Chosen, dead or alive. Instead of going through the huge metal gates that were covered with the names of the dead Chosen, Ebbitt pointed them through a nondescript door into the Underfolk stonemason's workshop. An Underfolk sculptor working there looked at them, but Ebbitt made a sign with his hand, and the woman turned back to her steady chipping at a block of yellow-green stone. Underfolk did all the basic preparation of the statues, which were then finished by Chosen artists, who used light rather than clumsy metal tools, not to mention their supposedly superior talents.
"Now all you have to do is find 2 very old coffins,"
whispered Ebbitt as they left the workshop and entered the mausoleum proper, again through an unobtrusive door.
"What?"
Tal whispered back. Somehow it didn't seem polite to speak normally in the mausoleum, though there didn't appear to be anyone around to hear them. Milla kept scanning the rows, her eyes moving slowly from side to side, checking to see if anything moved.
"The north corner,"
suggested Ebbitt, leading the way down an aisle of coffins and statues.
"The oldest. Nothing but dust inside. Not too icky. Scoop it out and settle in." "You let bodies rot inside these stone boxes?"
asked Milla with a shudder. It was the first time Tal had seen her show visible signs of disgust.
"Aren't there any animals that could eat them?"
"It's just the way we do things here," said Tal. "It's different, that's all."
"Savages,"
Milla muttered under her breath. She longed to be out on the clean ice again, with the cold wind blowing. It was too hot in the castle, and too enclosed. There were always walls, even in the very big rooms like this one. "I guess, if we're going to do it, we'd better get on with it," said Tal, as they came to coffins that were obviously older than the others they'd seen. The style of carved decorations was quite different from those to the south, and the stone was more worn. Though the decorations were individual, the stone coffins all had the same basic design. The statue on top could be pushed, and the lid would swivel to reveal an opening. Tal and Milla had to try a couple before they found a statue that would move. It rumbled aside, and Tal hesitantly looked in while Milla stood by disapprovingly. There was nothing inside but what looked like a layer of old earth. "Ebbitt, can you help Milla cross into Einar before you go yourself? I think I can remember how Dad did it last ascension." Ebbitt had been staring at a particular statue, remembering the spirit shadow and its master. They had been friends long ago, and his death was still an unexplained mystery. Ebbitt was only now realizing that this applied to many of his old departed friends.
"Help, Milla? Of course. But I'm not going with you." "What? You have to,"
Tal insisted.
"I've only been to Einar with everyone else. Without you, I need to stay here,"
mumbled Ebbitt.
"Someone will have to keep watch over your bodies, even if they are hidden in the coffins."
"I'm not sure this is the best thing to do, then," said Tal, who was having serious second thoughts. Maybe I should try to see the Empress first. Surely she would listen. Ebbitt shook his head.
The Empress sees no one she does not summon. Sushin and whoever he is in league with control the Imperial Guards, and that means they control access to Her Majesty. Find the Codex, and it will lead us to Gref, and perhaps more. The Codex knows much that is hidden. I think also that you must try to get the most powerful spirit shadow you can, Tal. You will need its help in the days ahead.
Milla looked at Ebbitt and said bluntly, Tal was wrong. You are not a crazy old man. I never said crazy, protested Tal. I said not exactly normal.
Crazy is more accurate, replied Ebbitt, but there are different kinds of crazy.
Can you try to see my mother? Asked Tal anxiously. And make sure she's looked after until I come back and get her? And Kusi, too? Ebbitt nodded, and his spirit shadow bowed its great maned head. I will be back, with the spirit shadow and the Codex, Tal vowed. And we'll find Gref, and my father, and heal Mother, and we'll see the Empress, and get Sushin dimmed, and... Tal's voice trailed off as he saw Ebbitt's expression. He had the look of someone who wanted to believe in something, but couldn't.